ati wanasema aje 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 aje. Hawezi kuja uniambie siwezi kuamnisa, usiwahi niambie hata so niko na episode fulani. Hii ni episode 1 ya scrolling through TikTok tu. Hii ni reaction ya scrolling through TikTok, ndakuwa naiweka bado kwa HD react. So leo scroll with me on TikTok tuonange tu vitu unaonanga tu, unapata, tuone tu vile unaonanga wewe. Wacha tuangalie rada TikTok ni gani. Tuna scroll tu. We sasa umekaa una scroll peke yako, hata ufanye joke funny. Siwaje tufanye joke funny kana wewe. Lakini ujue pia mimi scroll vile nataka. Si ati unaniambia vile nitafanya. For me. So come with me, we scroll on TikTok. So ni random tu. Start. Woo. Nasikia kaiko na kelele mob.
Join channel recently na ujui kitu inaendelea, uelewi hizo ma signals, strategies. Nataka sasa kuexplain strategy moja very easy. Hiyo unaweza ifanya anytime. Unaweza trade kwa laptop, unaweza trade kwa simu yako. Any device that can connect to the internet. Make sure you watch the video till the end. Na ujue hii strategy unaweza trade anytime.
Ni wale wasiwa nini? Ni wale wasiwa wa forex ama nini?
You're good to go.
Manze, msijitolea nifunze hata forex. Nimekubali sijui forex. Naweza taka. Na mimi nitawaambia kama ni ukweli. Na mimi once nimefunzwa na wafunza. Si get cheap. Sasa wanawauzia course. Mimi nitakuja tu niwafunze direct kama mtoi mdogo. So kama wewe ni msee wa forex huko out there.
So click on this bot load. Then today
acha tuendelee. Uza course labda hapa. Mzagadas 2k likes before kesho ni drop. Acha tusikie. Aliuma nje kwa ile ngoma na vile ilikuwa dead.
Samana kata maji nika hiyo ni talent. Mabani magwangindo wa ligi yake. Date kila sato ati kijipa Sunday. Oh my god tezana na hiyo budget. Samana kata maji nika hiyo ni talent. Mabani magwangindo wa ligi yake.
Zamame jiridini
ati kijipa Sunday. Oh my god tezana na hiyo budget yenyewe ni mingi na nataka keki big. Nishanunua mahindi na nasema mini stingy. Right left ni duka ya maluku za kihindi. Anadai nipachesh dutuli watch kihindi. Mbosho ninachwani na shindwa ndakopana. Nikejana usijalipa itafungwa akianani. Mbele nyuma sagodini anitohera honey. I never meant all these things over money. Ni kama po
mbaya jamana vijiridim.
Acha kudanganywa, cause trading yenye unafanya si yenye wengine wanafanya. Wewe utaendelea kufanya vile wanakushow lakini una end up
abutu tuonekao wanatuambia
kweli. So nataka nikuonyeshe kwa nini nakwambia hivyo. Let's say for example umepatana na site kama hii, ukuja hapo hivyo search kama dollarprinter.com.
There's a difference between a guy that's chasing something and a guy that's building something. A guy that's chasing something hunts after validation, hunts after a reward, hunts after
motivation. Story huyu jamaa.
Kila mtu anatupea motivation
keja through trading. Alafu kuna mtu anakuuliza is trading real? Unaoshanga huyu mtu ni nini mbane?
Boy anaitwa Flossy na kwa FYP cause I think nilikuwa nishaanza kuangalia video zake. So Flossy bro, nifunze ku trade.
Tell me why.
Naya jango mse track that in my
house. Her friend that's hosting a house party had invited a bunch of her guy friends. She's dancing there. A nigga gonna smack her butt and grab it. She turned around, asked who did it. Nobody know. Just a crowd of guys. Nobody fessed up. Like I was stressed like all night, bro. Questioning her about everything. What time did it happen? Describe the hand to me. You know what I'm saying? Who did you see? So listen.
What's it?
I got a gun. I asked her friend, the host of the house party, give me a list of every nigga that was at that party.
All right.
Nobody gotta get shot. Listen, nobody gotta die, bro. Nobody gotta get shot. I just need you to drive me around to every nigga that's on that list.
Damn.
I need you to hold him at gunpoint. I'm gonna make every nigga I question smack my ass. because I'm going to find out the hand that did it. She described the hand to me in great detail, bro. I'm going to be able to tell. Once I can tell who hand it was,
Wait, what?
I'm beating that nigga to the ground, bro. I'm
Wait,
beating
what?
him to the ground. Yeah, bro. I don't really think you thought this through. Yes, I did, bro. Yes, I did. Like I said, I made her describe it to me in great detail. I have a page worth of information about whoever nigga hand that was, bro.
Nimeamka.
Flossy
Kama
girl.
you don't believe
Famena kata maji nika hiyo ni talent. Mabani maguangindo wa ligi yake. Date kila sato ate kijipa Sunday. Oh my god, tezana na hiyo budget.
Famejo meweza kasupu ya lipweza. Kona ligi yake magwangi wana target.
Lazima wajiredeem. They have to. So
Maji nifanya na
tatu ngojea
ya mokili
usipotee, angalia katikati.
mzangala mavindu mtoto yetu ya kwa sababu
Usipotee, angalia katikati. Uona anapigiwa nini jamaa?
nataka sana ni diglo mavindu na hata ujanieke maji kusambuka hapa. Jasup area. Oh lord, na ukumbuke bana kile
Matire.
source of appetite.
Kweli Kenya
this
tena mabangi
pokekereke,
zimekuwa
mekedeke. Angalia katikati mtoto wetu usipote. Pokekereke na sija deep fry ile madesign yenye mnataka. Mimi ndo nataka hivi. This is scale. Kama mrembo wako anakupatianga stress, usijaribu, iko na citric acid. Utaumia tumbo. Yangu ndio yeye analea
Sawa,
kijana.
tuko na baridi
Yeah.
sisi.
So it was my first time like ever talking to him, meeting him. So I think I was a
DDG.
little nervous in that sense, where I had never talked to him before. Like you see an internet persona, but you don't know how a person is like off.
So this cruise ship wrecks, and the captain abandons it,
Umcheyu ni
and he leaves
malizanga.
about 4,000 people there to die. Now, the captain's name is Francesco, and Francesco is 51 years old, living in Italy, and dude is the captain of this big-ass cruise ship that operates
Nakuanga
off the
so
coast of Italy
invested
called
by.
the Costa Concordia. And one night in 2012, Francesco is piloting this boat with over 4,000 passengers and crew on board. And that is when he gets this idea that's gonna change his life forever. He decides he's gonna perform a sail-by salute. And that is when ships will sail really close to land, and sometimes they'll blow the horn. It's called a sail-by salute. And this will give everyone on the boat a cool view of the island they're passing. And I guess he's just trying to show off. And since he thinks this is going to be impressive, he invites a woman up to the bridge of the ship to watch the whole thing. But not just any woman, it's this woman, who we'll call Mistress, because she just happens to be Francesco's mistress, who is half his age. And this is an actual picture of her, just straight up looking like a mistress. And Francesco's married, by the way. So of course he's smashing with this much younger woman on the side. And because they're smashing, she's on this cruise for free. So she's humping the captain, so there is no charge for the buffet or whatever. Anyway, so Francesco wants to get the ship close to this island so that he can show off, and he decides he wants to do this sail-by salute manually. Which he doesn't have to do it manually. Cruise ships are very technologically advanced, but I guess using that technology doesn't make him look very badass in front of his mistress. So he turns off the alarm for the computer navigation system. And under normal circumstances, this alarm would warn him if he were to get too close to shore or whatever. But I guess Francesco doesn't really care. So there he is on the bridge of the ship, chatting up his mistress, trying to flex and explain to her how incredible it is that he's steering the boat manually instead of using the navigation system, and he's the only one who's a good enough captain to be able to do such a thing because he knows the area super well and everything's definitely going to be okay and the boat is totally not going to crash. Until Francesco really screws up. He forgot his reading glasses, so I guess he can't really see what any of his instruments are saying. And I don't know if it's like too late to run and get them, or he just doesn't want to be seen in them, but he doesn't go and get them, and I guess he's also distracted by looking at his mistress, who is looking all fine, I guess. So he just keeps asking the first officer to check the radar to make sure the ship is good. So pretty quickly, they're in the middle of this sail-by salute, and they're moving close to the island, and suddenly, boom, he sees waves breaking on the rocks, and he's like, Mamma mia, because he realizes that he has misjudged the distance. He's not supposed to be this close to the
The
rocks.
yacht.
So he tries to steer and swing the ship
It's
to the
already
side
too
to
late. These
avoid
are
it.
waves
But
make a mess.
unfortunately, it's too late.
Of course.
And kapow! He scrapes the hull of the ship across the rocks, and this rips a massive 164-foot hole in it. And down below, the head of the engine room calls up and he's like, yeah, we got a problem down here. There's a big ass gash in the side of the ship. And water is just pouring in, and it has submerged the generators and the engines, and now there's no
Man, he messed
propulsion
up,
and no
eh?
backup electric power, and some of the instruments are failing, and so then, boom, the power goes out. So now all the
All of
passengers are
this
suddenly sitting in
because
darkness. And to make it worse, all
of
this
them
water
house.
coming in shifts the weight of the ship and makes the whole thing
You're
start
shooting a
tilting to
crash.
one side. And of course the passengers are panicking at this point
What?
because most of the power is out and the boat is leaning and they're like, what the hell is happening here? And so the ship is slowly sinking to its side and it eventually comes to rest in more shallow waters as it runs up on the ground. But water is still rushing in. So Francesco
Damn.
immediately
Unaweza
starts
imagine
freaking
uko-
out because
uko
he knows he
scenario
really
kama hiyo,
screwed up.
manzi.
He tells one of the crew just to let the Coast Guard know that they only experienced a little blackout and that they don't really need assistance. This is no big deal. And they also make an announcement to the passengers telling them not to panic and that everything is fine. However, obviously everything is
Hakuna
not
kitu kaa
fine.
hiyo.
And about an hour goes by. And some of the passengers finally report the wreck to Port Authority. And a little bit after that, Francesco gives the passengers and crew the order to evacuate. So basically, the passengers are ordered to put on their life
Imagine
vests
uko kwa
and head
scenario
toward the
kaya alafu
lifeboats,
unaanza
but to
kuambiwa
be
jo.
calm about it. However, as
Kama
time
aje
goes
about it
on,
na
the
una-
ship keeps tilting more and more. And that makes it hard to launch the lifeboats. And you can actually see the ship tilting here. And now eventually, the whole boat tilts over on its side. Now, this is an actual photo of it
Dang,
taken
bro.
the next day at daylight. And here's another picture, and here's another one.
Wow,
I mean, look at it.
it
That
is
looks
sick.
insane. Now, at this point in the story, people are still evacuating, and it's all chaos. I mean, there are over 4,000 passengers and crew on this thing, so this is not a fast process. And a good ship captain would be leading this effort to get his passengers to safety, and he
Sayo
would be on the
jamana
ship
du.
until everything was handled. Because, you know, like a good captain goes down with his ship. I believe that's the saying. Here's the thing, though. Francesco is
Alijitoa.
just not that guy. And he takes a very different approach. He's like, fuck all this, and he gets in a lifeboat and he is sailing away to safety
dip.
toward the harbor. Now, somehow, the Coast Guard gets
Na
in
ule
touch
dem
with him,
alienda wapi?
I guess by radio. And the Coast Guard is pissed. They're like, where the hell are you? And Francesco tells them that he had accidentally left his ship because he, and I'm not making this up, fell into a lifeboat. And that lifeboat made its way to the harbor
Oh
where
my
he is
God.
now safe. And the Coast Guard is like, you're the fucking captain! Get the hell back on your ship! Help people evacuate! Because, like, this is a serious matter. The ship is on its side. They need to know how many people are still on board. If those people need help, what kind of help do they need? Are people dead? Like, these are things a captain is supposed to know. And so Francesco
And
tells them that
investment
he's
me-
trying to
yep.
get back on the
Apo
ship,
jamaa,
but
there's
in
two
fact,
person for that.
he is not. Not only did he make it to land at this point,
Alizidi.
but he was actually one of the first people to make it to land, beating all the other passengers. He's like, oh, f*** all this, I'm getting out of here. And he beat everyone there. And so anyway, a police officer sees Francesco and he runs up to him and he offers to get him a small boat to return to the ship to help the passengers evacuate. And Francesco is like,
Alibonda.
nah, I'm good. Meanwhile, there are people from the island, like actual pedestrians, sailing out there in whatever vessels they own to try and help the passengers off this boat. And between that and the Coast Guard sending ships and helicopters, they are ultimately able to help most of the people evacuate safely.
Hey, boy.
But unfortunately, some people do drown, some people get injured from the ship tilting, and some people get trapped. And in total, 32 people don't make it. And so the next day, bam, Captain Francesco
Boss,
is
lazima
arrested.
amshike.
And I don't have a mugshot, but here's a real life picture of him. And he eventually goes to trial, and he's found guilty of manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, and abandoning a vessel. I didn't even know that was illegal.
What?
But he
That's a
gets
law?
sentenced to 16 years in prison. So this cruise ship
Forex tu. Brian! Hebu acha niulize. Huyu Brian hata mnamjuangaje? Na mimi naona mimi hata sidhani naweza mjua. Mnamjuangaje? Ama mnashindanga mmemuona tu? At this point mimi naweza anza kuita tu kila mtu Brian mwenye ako na boda. Sielewangi.
Ni mia oya. Kunyo uende, ndio nilipia basi uende.
Ya farada ni gani?
Buda legend, Buda ndo legend. Legend.
Ani magwangi.
Ila chupa. Kwanza ngapi? Hapa hata usiulize. Mwike ngune.
Elewi.
So this turd is a serial.
Yenye wale machali wanafanyanga tu na tetemeka mguu manzejo. Au machali wanafanyanga tetemeke mguu kaifala. Wanafaa kupikiwa hivi.
Abu nione. Oya nione.
Biriani pale. Top. Pilau pale. Top. Madem, msiko hivyo bana. Patia
na wenye watetemeshi wanapikiwa nini?
Ndo mrudi maraundi kadhaa.
Na wenye
ama ni aje?
Oh.
You won't believe what Iceland is trying to do with their lava. They call it lava forming, and they have the ambitious plan to build entire cities out of it, giving it the most dystopian aesthetic I've ever seen. But hear me out. It's actually not as crazy as it sounds. You see, Iceland is one of the most active volcanic regions.
By the way, once lava like imekauka inakuwa like dark in color, alafu tena inakuwa like a stone, like a very very hard stone. So I feel wakieka some things zenye zinapitia, but aboja nisikie
regions in the world. And when they had those massive eruptions in 2023, looking at the enormous amount of material rising to the surface, the head of a firm called SAP Architar said, "Holy, we could build a whole city in 1 week with all of that." And to be fair to her, lava is pretty damn amazing because it already naturally has all of the materialities that concrete does. But crucially, without the massive CO2 footprint. So currently the project has 3 speculative ideas on how to build, I don't know,
on how
land. The first method would be, instead of waiting for the eruptions, they drill down to reach the underground magma and then channel it into molds where it cools and solidifies into blocks, beams, and panels. Method 2 gets a little more complicated, but they'll dig precise trenches around active volcanoes, which, once it erupts, they would channel the lava into the foundations and walls of an entire city, which would simultaneously protect it from future eruptions. And then the third and most forward-thinking of the 3 methods would be to harness the technology of robotics and 3D printing. So envision a whole fleet of these future robots capable of walking across hot lava fields and then scoop up and use the lava as ink, if you will, to then 3D print buildings layer by layer. Okay, that one is just as crazy as it sounds. The question is, which one would we see first? Iceland's lava land or South?
Siku moja nitanunua gari nibebe mama yangu hapo mbele. Finally happened. Man, anasikia fiti.
Hi Cousins made in Nairobi, Kenya. 5,999 KSHA to size. 7,950 KSHA one size. Smallest size.
Check your art. Huyu jamaa piga hata like hapo moja hatari.
So yeah, good.
I told you pima watu.
It's not correct or?
You gotta swing your arms with it. Maybe it's too heavy.
Yeah.
Start with 0 and then
from 0 to hero. I'll just try one more time, guys. And
come on, man.
Okay, just one more time, guys. Just one. Not really. Cool. Superhero. Superman. I just saw it like. Superman. This is like this.
Superhero.
Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
1,000 lini.
They not like us. Trying to strike a chord.
Say wa hiyo forex pros. Amestuka mbaya.
Oh, you bought the seat and your friend didn't come. What happened to him? Oh, she didn't come? You by yourself? Who's this lady? Oh, you came by yourself and you came... Wow, you
Troopers,
both
jamaa.
so good looking.
Troopers,
Are you
jamaa.
both single? You should meet each other.
Na trade zako
Flosin, umetokea hapo sana jamaa.